I just want her to express her thoughts. Natina, I know this is definitely not something of unfamiliar territory, being a member of Black R&B singing group, and you've traveled the world over as well. And you worked very closely with Left Eye, correct?
Yes, I did.
So I know that this is just, I know you have a lot that you can share. I'm just going to allow you and give you the floor to just express, you know, what impact, I mean, what were you feeling when you heard the news?
Well, I will say this. Hello, everybody. One of my most intimate times with Whitney was when I lost Lisa. At the funeral, when we was all headed to the wake, she took my son, and she told me, go do everything that you need to do, and then come back to me. And, you know, it was refreshing because I was dealing with so much at the point in time, me being a mother, a fresh mother, you know, when me and Collectives had the baby, and, you know, for her to see the pain in me at that point and say, I will do whatever it takes to carry your burden, in a sense, I felt like this is one of the most impactful things a person can do for you when they see you in pain. And another thing that we have to remember as artists is we have to do a lot of support when it comes down to media control and media damage, because there are a lot of things that could be said negative about an artist, but also you don't see the side of artists when they are the most impactful or the most, I want to say, productive or the most adequate when you're going through crisis yourself. And so we have to remember that she's also a mother herself. We have to control our mouths. We have to make sure that we think about the fact that she has a child up there somewhere that has to hear all the damaging words being said about her mother. We don't want to ever remember the damaging words that can affect her child's life. We also want the child to be impacted by all the powerful words that we can ever throw out. Traveling all over the world, meeting all these different people at parties, and experiencing the things that artists have to experience. You know, a lot of people don't realize how it can kind of take over your life in a sense, and you have to have the right people around you. You have to kind of remember who you were before you got into the industry, and it can be very hard to do that. You know, it can be very, very. I want to use the word manipulative in this business. And so when you're in this business, you have to kind of gear yourself around people, and we have to kind of use these stuff that come upon us as lifelong lessons for us as artists as well, you know, to kind of get our lives back on track and to kind of focus on the things that we really, you know, want to achieve. And unfortunately, sometimes we have people around us that they see how the enemy could target us, and they don't know that they're pawns themselves. And so we have to kind of watch out for the pawns as well. We have to kind of watch out for how the enemy can use. He came out there to kill, steal, and destroy, but he's also trying to kill, steal, and destroy our gifts as well. So we have to keep those types of things in mind, because we're losing some of our greatest pioneers in this world. And while we're losing these people, it's hard for us to even focus ourselves. So can you imagine when you make it to a Michael Jackson, you know, title, or when you make it to such a huge title like Whitney's title, it is a bigger stepping stone and a bigger throwing milestone that's going to be thrown back at that individual. And we have to make sure we lift up these people in prayer as well as their families. We have to make sure that we ourselves try to do a lot of good when we get PRs around us, and when we get, you know, the type of people we hire around us. We have to make sure that they have our back as artists. Right. We have to make sure that at all times that we're not hiring people that just want to party with us, or we're not hiring people that just want the accolades, you know, afterwards. But we got to hire people that will say, you know what, enough is enough, let's go, because you got to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, or you have something important to do at 8, you know, let's shut it down. And even though we're grown, we take on the persona like, well, I'm this artist, so you can't tell me what to do. But when you know it's coming from a good place and you got the right people in line to actually handle your business, then you really respect those people. And we have to just get people around us that we respect as artists, you know what I mean? So that when they speak, they are really giving us words of wisdom that we will actually follow, and not that we won't just say, oh, who are you? I'm so-and-so, or I'm this artist, and I sold this many records, you can't tell me what to do. And it's hard building, your life all over again when new artists are coming in. She had to deal with new artists coming in that are, and they're not even really, to be honest with you, selling the amount of records that they used to sell back then. But you're dealing with an icon that sold those amount of records, you know what I mean? And so when you're dealing with an icon that sold that amount of records, she's got more than even the newer artists tugging at her. She's got the old artists plus the new artists, plus the old fans and the new fans. She's got a world that it's almost like she has to put herself in a bubble. And you don't know what it's like to have to put yourself in a bubble when everyone wants to just tug at you. So we have to just really make sure anytime we hear damaging things to her, we say, no, that's not Whitney. Anytime we see the media talk bad about her, no, we know the real Whitney, and that's what we're going to embrace. We know that she has a child. We need to embrace the fact that her child is listening. We need to, like my friend said, we need to embrace the fact that Bobby is going through it too as well, because that's the guy that she chose to be with, and that doesn't mean because they were broken up that he's not affected by it. So we have to keep all of these things in mind. Hold her up in prayer. Hold her family up in prayer. And we as artists, we just have to do a better job who we have around us, what we intake. And we all can change our lives around because God is merciful, and He will do accordingly and just what He said.
Thank you so much, Natina. I really appreciate all those words that you shared with us today. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and come on the show. I really do. And